Love you. Good evening, everybody. Look at some people will come on and share their stories. It'd be wonderful. We like to have that. We just had a wonderful opportunity to be on a wonderful call and shared a bunch of things with a lot of people across the nation, in fact, really around the world, about our mission and what our hope is and what our purpose is. And our purpose is and our mission is to help change lives, is to help people's health, not to go down a path like for a lot of us with the path that our health has gone down. We want to help you and your family become well and avoid some of the pitfalls we have. And if you've gotten even past some of the pitfalls we've had, we want to provide you with the ability that there is help, there's hope, and that's really what's important to us. And we want to provide information. That's what we do almost every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There's someone of us, all of us, talking, explaining, showing you, and sharing what we know we all want. Unless you really don't want to be healthy. And if you're already healthy, then congratulations. We love you for it. Continue on. Soldier, do not change. Continue to preach the word and make sure you're healthy and metabolically healthy. So a lot of these issues develop, but you don't even notice them. A lot of issues happen and they're gradual until all of a sudden you find out that, oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's how it happens. Oh, that's the med we have to take. So really what we're really looking at is what can we do to help you, help ourselves to be knowledgeable. So we continually research, we continually work to educate, we continually dedicate time. Now, most of the people that work with us and that are part of us are part-time, quite frankly, which is fine. People that want to work in the training and helping people, we're going to use about 5, maybe 10 hours, at least 5 hours a week is really what it's going to take. Hang on. She's working on her nails. So anyway, but we have people that are full-time truck drivers driving 60 to 70 hours a week. We have people with multiple jobs. We have mothers and fathers and uncles and aunts and grandpas and great-grandpas and grandmas with full-time this and full-time that. But when they have the opportunity to share their experience, when they have the opportunity to share what they have learned, when they have the opportunity to share their experience, their change, the before and afters in health, you can't help but look and listen, because this is really what happens. We are broadcasting, we are sharing the real deal. Then that real deal is, ladies and gentlemen, there's some issues that need to be addressed. There are some things that are happening in our food system and in our healthcare system, let's call it that, that are causing and lead up to and don't take care of some of the issues that we find. And so these are some examples. We literally have hundreds, if not thousands, of before and afters. And a lot of the befores and afters don't take 90 days, don't take 60 days. Some take a week, some take 2 weeks, some take a month, some take 90, some take a year, some over 2 years. But if the change in the transition is shorter than the decades that you built this toxicity up, do you care? Now, I would say you wouldn't care. If you're feeling better and you are getting stronger and symptoms are going away and you sleep better. You have more energy. You're not peeing as often. Your skin tags go away. Your inflammation goes away. Pain in your joint goes away. Um, your ability, the ED goes away. PCOS goes away. Your blood pressure comes down and gets you off the meds. And if you're on medication for anything and those symptoms go away, you get the opportunity to get off of those medications. How much time do you care? Does it take you a year to get rid of that? Wouldn't that be worth it? Wouldn't it? Absolutely, it would. So one of the things we want to look at, guys, is what can we do to make and help people be well, be better. And that's part of what we talk about. That's part of the lessons we have. Hi, John. And we're going to talk about all of these kinds of things. And so as we get through this, really our passion, the purpose, the reason we spend our time on these topics is because nobody else does. And pretty much nobody else will. And why are we saying these things and why are we bringing it out is because we've already lived it. We've already lived it. We're living it. We're transforming our bodies. We're transforming our lives. We're transforming our health. And we want to share that. We want to share the testimonies and the good news that there is hope. There's something that actually works. And we want to share that. That's why we do what we do. And so in part of that story and part of that background, I'm going to share this little silly thing about me, is that there's me. I was Mr. Belly so big. I mean, literally, I was Mr. Belly so big. Think about it. There are people like this. There's people like this. And there's people like you. But most of us all want to be what? Healthier. We want to be in a position where we can enjoy our grandkids, enjoy our children, enjoy ourselves, to be able to get up and freely walk, to get up and go up and down stairs. If we can't keep up with our parents, we got an issue. If mom can go up and down the stairs, mom can go down the walk faster than I can, I'd have a problem. We should, this is an issue. I can get it maybe if the kids can go faster than you, but at the end of the day, you should be faster than your parents. You should be able to stand up straighter than your parents. They shouldn't be the ones pushing you around. They shouldn't be the ones bathing you. In fact, we want everybody to have a full, healthy life to the end of their lifetime. We want your health time to last as long as your lifetime. We don't want your health time to end years, decades before your lifetime. It's kind of like the too much month at the end of the month. We don't want you to have too much life at the end of your health. You only have one body. Where else you're going to live? And if we don't take care of it, if you don't take care of it, nobody else will. The somebody that will take care of it will just medicate you and store you in some room, in some building, somewhere. That's what it's really going to be. You're going to be in a storage container for people that aren't well. Doesn't sound like a great outcome, does it? Doesn't sound like something I would have planned to be. I mean, I know I didn't plan to be I actually never really wanted to be a cowboy or fireman or those kinds of things. But, those would be goals that people would have, right? Those would kind of goals that people would have. But, the whole thing is that you have the opportunity with this protocol. What we have found is to help add years to your life and life to those years. More importantly, life to those years, which then gives you purpose. It gives you purpose if you have more life and energy. Because if you can't get up and go, if you're just going to sit around and do nothing, what are you waiting for? I mean, what's the ultimate goal? What's the purpose? I mean, why is nothing? I mean, and you're getting nothing. So that's why we get up, we move, we have a purpose. And to have a purpose means you get to dream. People have taken our dreams away. We're working to give people back their dreams. We're looking to help give them back a passion. We want people that have a helper's heart, that want to help, that want to help change lives. People that want freedom. Do you want freedom? Would you like to have freedom? And how does that look? What does freedom look like to you? Is it the freedom to go, travel? Is it freedom to get up in the morning? Is it the freedom to have the choice? Is it the freedom to go play? Is it the freedom to dream? Is it the freedom to be able to buy something or enjoy something you can buy? I mean, what do you see sometimes? I remember the first time I ever went to Hawaii, John, and it was when you live in the Midwest and you go to Waikiki Beach, on the Big Island or the Oahu. I know my islands, guys. I'm sorry, but if you get to Oahu and you fly from the Midwest, generally you're gonna wake up at about 3 a.m. That's just how the clock works. You're waking up at 3 a.m. and you're on the beach at Waikiki and you're thinking about that song in your head, a little girl and a girl at an old Hong Kong and wait for my return. You know that one? So you walk along the beach and you know what? You're there with all the other Midwesterns in the dark. But the thing that you notice, if you notice things, is that there are a lot of people that waited too long to make the trip, and all they see is the beach below their feet. They can't see Diamond Head because their heads are bent over like an ostrich. It's kind of like down here. Diamond Head is up there. But all they see is the beach. They're humped over. And so we want you to enjoy the opportunity even when you become older. Now, and by gum, I'm going to tell you, I do not need an apparatus to walk of any kind. I don't need an apparatus of medication for any of my symptoms, any of my metabolic systems. That's not always been the case, as you can see. I was Mr. Belly so big, and when I was Mr. Belly so big, there is this guy right here was trying to get out. So that is one of the things. Now, sure, I look happy here, and I was gotten an award as a national. Okay, that's good, but good Lord, I look like not Mr. Belly Surveyor, Mr. Pumpkinhead. And there I was over here. I got belly oozing. I got to bend over and tie my shoes. I'm losing my breath. And I got pedicures because I couldn't get to my toenails. I knew they were down there, but I always would say, "Oh, you know what? I want happy feet. I love happy feet." When I do, I kind of like being a little pampered a little bit. But you know what? I don't think that I would. I think I would enjoy it much more now because I could do it myself. Now I really would enjoy it. So this is me, and this is me. Yeah, and I kind of look like a different guy. And this right here is me in a suit that my mom bought me in 1970. Now, the pants that went with this were 30s, and they are like right this size right here. And a month later, I'm in at 28. At 28. Now, that's who at 73 would not be happy with a 28-inch waist, right? With no medication, not counting any carbs, not counting any calories, not changing anything. So, guys, I have been fat, I have been sick, and I have literally been nearly dead. And I have played the diet yo-yo whack-a-mole. I call it diet whack-a-mole program for decades. And so today we're gonna, as if anybody else and people come on, we'll be on till maybe 9 Central Time, something like that, which is going to be 10 Eastern. But we're going to talk about these things we've been talking about, some of the struggles, some of the history. Make sure, John, you put in your add everyone, add followers, and that in the chat. Make sure you put those in there so it shows up on your page. Make sure you remember that, how to do that. Add highlights. John, hello, John. John, are you here with me? Cool. So, John, make sure you put in the add highlights, add everyone, and add followers.
There.
Perfect. Good boy.
I'm doing that right now.
All right, perfect. I love it. So here's a question, guys. Would you agree that there's a metabolic problem in America? Of course, everybody does. I mean, if you remember your last get together with your family or friends at a barbecue or a pool or a function, a family reunion, a church dinner, did you hear someone complain about the medications, their high blood pressure, their diabetes, their shoulders, their visions, their head fogs, their migraines, their high blood pressure? Yeah, those are all metabolic deals. And over the next 5 to 10 years, do you think that's going to decrease or only increase? And that means that's Captain Obvious. All right, it's rhetorical. But one of the questions they have is, what are you spending extra that you don't need to spend? So we're talking about, how did we get here? Well, we're talking about our modern food environment. Our modern food environment. How much money do you spend in our modern food environment on a daily basis as a rule that you do not have to, that you don't need to? And we would say $6 to $10 a day on just breakfast, sodas, smoothies, chips, candy, power drinks, snacks, I care, you name it. And that's just Monday through Friday. Because weekends are what? Snackorama. Weekends, you are constantly munching on something. And I can prove that to you if you go to a soccer field, a softball diamond, baseball diamond, swim meet, right? If you go to a car show, a carnival, a fair, a festival, now it's all festivals, right? Every weekend is somebody's food, fruit, vegetable festival, right? Hey, Bill, it's so nice seeing you, girl. Miss you. I really miss you. I love you, kiddo. And so if you start looking at, one of the reasons people don't know how much they spend on a daily basis is because they use plastic. People don't have feel the pain of cash anymore. People don't. They simply don't. And they don't look at the labels. John, I went and I looked at today at one of those big barrels of those cheese balls. And
yeah.
Okay. And I went and I looked at one of those barrels of cheese, or there really is no cheese in it. I know that, but I looked at one, and let me just tell you, I'm going to read you the ingredients, okay? And I'm not going to make this up because I'm going to show you. I'm going to blow it up right there, okay? I'm going to read some of these ingredients. This is what's in this big gallon jug of cheese called cheese balls. But let's see how much cheese is in here. All right. Cornmeal vegetable oil contains one or more of the following: cottonseed oil, you know what that is, that's Crisco, right? Corn oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, soybean oil, and or canola oil. How many oils is that?
5 or 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 oils. Oh, then they get to whey. And then maltodextrin, which we know is what? Maltodextrin is a starch sugar is high. It's over 100 on the glycemic index. Sugar runs about what, 60? Number 60, right? Maltodextrin is over 100. Think about that. And that's right after the cornmeal. And then there's salt. Oh, wait. Oh, my goodness gracious. There's cheddar cheese. I'm so excited. There's actually some cheese in that, so that's why I can say. Because when you buy those, serious, I'm the George Carlin about this kind of stuff because you can buy those packages of slices, those slices, right? And those slices aren't called cheese because there's no cheese in them. They can't call them cheese slices unless there's cheese. These cheese balls have cheese. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then there's buttermilk solid, semi-soft cheese, which is milk, cheese, cultured salt, enzymes, more whey, protein concentrate, milk fat, sodium phosphate, lactic acid, number 6, butter, autolyzed yeast extract, yellow dye, disodium glycinate, disodium isonate, yeast extract, artificial flavor, natural flavor, and enzymes. Wow. All that in a mouthful of cheese balls. Isn't that exciting? I'm so excited. Oh, and I think it says that serving size is 1 ounce. 1 ounce is the serving size. And that has 150. Yeah. I mean, like,
that's less than a handful?
Yeah, and it's 0 dietary fiber. Well, it has some protein because we had real cheese in it, but it has a lot of salt, 150 calories, but who cares? But anyway, I found that just exciting because I mean, like I go like, well, there you go. We got that figured out. So then I went back and I went back in the shelves today, John, and I looked for, let's go look at allulose and stevia. Let's go see what's going on in those guys, right? Well, in a sucralose, the first ingredient is maltodextrin. Would you think a bag of sucralose would have sucralose as the main ingredient? And let's go over next bag to stevia. Now, what would you think would be the first ingredient in a bag of stevia? Stevia, right? And hey, it's maltodextrin. Huh. But does it say it on the front of the bag? No. Does it people turn around half the time? No. They're getting maltodextrin, which spikes the blood sugar like nobody's business. So people will buy this sweetener thinking like, oh, we got this. Stevia, cool, love it, does a great deal. But its first ingredient is maltodextrin. It does exactly what you don't want to have happen in your blood system. So, I mean, it was just me having fun at the grocery store today. And just another little picture I had, just had to, hey, there's some cereal. I always have to look at those things. But anyway, so yeah, modern food environment has changed, hasn't it? So 93%. And if you don't like the number 93%, kids, I don't really care. I just ask you, look around. Do you know 10 people? Do you know 10 people that are suffering from, I don't know, maybe type 1 diabetes, type 1.5 diabetes? You know what that is? That means you still make insulin, but you don't make a lot of it. And so you get a pill and a shot. How about pre-diabetes? Pre-diabetes. You see, the one thing about pre-diabetes, it's kind of like Nito Cobain came to America. He was an immigrant. He's a great motivational speaker and has several books and things. He's a real nice guy. And he went and bought some underwear. He was going to buy some underwear in New York City. And he picked it up and it said shrink resistant. Shrink resistant. So he went to the lady, the clerk, and goes, ma'am, will these underwear shrink or will they not shrink? And she goes, sir, they will shrink, but they don't want to. So pre-diabetes tells that story. Pre-diabetes tells a story. It tells you on the way. You're on the way to becoming a diabetic. They just haven't declared you that. You know, I mean, for giving birth, you either is pregnant or you ain't pregnant. There's no in between, right? But here we kind of step up on it, and all of a sudden now you're diabetic, but you were pre-diabetic. Well, if you were pre-diabetic and it's a metabolic condition, right? And metabolic means you can take care of it with your lifestyle, with your diet and lifestyle. Don't you think maybe you should do something? Don't you think maybe instead, well, you know, you're pre-diabetic, don't you think you should get some advice so you don't get there? And I mean, if you get there, it's like, okay, or because while you're pre-diabetic and moving towards it, what is in it for the healthcare system to let you stay on that path? When you cross the line, you get to become what? A walking ATM for the pharmaceutical and the healthcare system. They could, if they knew how, if they actually studied like we study, if they actually participated in knowledge enough to care about what, not reimbursement, but actually your health, then changes could be done to prevent you getting there. And that's part of our mission and part of our passion. Because I've been Mr. Belly So Big and I've come down, and one of my pride and joys is John, and I'm going to make him come down too. Scratching, kicking, screaming, crying. He's going to come down. He doesn't have a choice. This is where we're going. And he's a good study. He's a good patient. He's a good student. And I love the guy because I was there. I've been there a couple times. Guys, my blood sugar was so outrageous twice that the last time I shouldn't be here. Literally, I should not be breathing and talking today. And some of you go, oh, well, that would have been great. We'd have to listen to you, Bill. Yeah, well, you can go ahead and scroll past. But the deal is that I was clinically diabetic. I should have been in a coma. A lot of people would have been dead. And I don't mean it jokingly. I mean dead. That's not funny, but I was there. My blood glucose was 834 with an A1C of 18.1. I was on no meds, so incredibly badly managed that I shouldn't be here. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to help John. I'm here for John to help you. I'm here to help anybody and everybody I can to listen, not to go down the stupid path I went down, not to be in this modern food prosperity wheel. Because these are things that happen because we live in a prosperity environment. We live in a modern food environment. Think about this. Neuropathy. John's had neuropathy. PCOS, neither one of us because we're not girls. Fatty livers. I've had a fatty liver. John's probably had a fatty. Might have a fatty liver now. But children as young as 8 have non-alcoholic fatty livers. When I was a kid, in my earlier years of life, the only person that had a fatty liver was the poor guy, usually was a guy, that was a bottler. That was who was going to have a fatty liver, right? That's who it was. Now we have children as young as 8 and 10 that have fatty livers. It's not alcoholic fatty liver, but the problem is the same. And it's all because our modern food environment. It's all because who's feeding them. It's all because who's buying the food. Now, the problem with that is the food now is addictive. Sugar is a drug. I don't care what you say. What is a drug? A drug is defined as a mind-altering substance. That's what a drug is. Sugar is a drug. I don't care. It has 254 names, but a rose spelled and called anything will still smell quite as sweet, right? A rose by any other names will smell just as sweet, as Shakespeare said. So sugar, a lot of sugars, the majority of sugars aren't sweet, but they spike the glucose in your body higher than sugar. And anytime you eat something or drink something, what happens? Insulin gets called on. Insulin gets called on to do what? Insulin's job is to take the blood glucose, and there should only be about a sugar cube worth in the entire system. So think about when you drink a bottle of soda, then there's 15 or 20 of those in there. What your body starts going like, what in the flying are you doing? What are you doing to us? We got to go over and grab the pancreas and shake the heck out of it and say, hey, send out some insulin. We need insulin. We need insulin. What for? Because we have to shove that glucose, that blood sugar, into where? The muscles. It's going to go into the muscles. That 80% is going there. After that, it's going to go where? Well, the next place is the liver. After that, it's the brain. After that, it don't know where they have to go. It doesn't have a place to go. So it starts going to your what? The adipose tissue, your cells. And they get full. And then it starts soaking up and around your organs. And they can't do anymore. And then what happens? You start peeing all the time. Whether you're drinking anything or not, you're just peeing all the time, 24 hours a day, every 2 hours or more. At night, how many times do you have to get up? And they'll tell us, well, that's just old age. Poppycock. That's copping out. That's not a function of old age. I'm 73 and I sleep through the night. Thank you very much. A year ago I did. I guarantee you that. A year ago, I had driving it at a container that I had to use because I couldn't get off the road sometimes fast enough. So I've lived that. I don't want you to have to do that. I really don't. It's not fun. It's embarrassing. I actually used to carry an extra change of clothes hanging on in my back seat in case I couldn't take care of it. I mean, that's the truth. That was just ridiculous. And my hair is falling out, and I had brain fog. I had back acne like nobody's business. I would wear T-shirts to bed so that I didn't try to blood stain the sheets. If I went swimming, I wore a shirt because I didn't want the children to run away thinking I was some kind of diseased animal, because I was. And I had skin tags, like little hydras, little things coming out like little cactuses, right? All over my neck and things, my head, my skin darkening patches of the skin, a hump on the back of your neck, belly fat, looked like I swallowed a Volkswagen. I had gout once upon a time. Oh my gosh, they gave me some medication, John, for the gout. Mm-hmm. And I was playing highly competitive racquetball in those days. And I couldn't move my legs. The swing got down, but I couldn't play racquetball. I would go on the court looked like the Michelin swollen donut man, right? And I'd get on the court, yeah. and I'd say, okay, go. And I couldn't take one step across the other to get to the ball to the right or the left. The ball had to come to me because the medication that you put me on for gout, I couldn't move. I said, well, that pill's going out the door. And I didn't have those for a week. Now, they didn't give me a money back guarantee on that either, by the way. But I figured, all right, we'll figure this out because I ain't taking that. I'll play with pain before I give up playing. And so there was another thing. And so the body fat, the brain fog, there was times my poor neighbors must have thought I was insane. They're probably close, but I would leave the house, get to the stop sign, and I forgot something. I'd drive back. unlock the door, go in, get something, go into the car, go out there. Oh, I forgot something. I go back in. I'd make 4 or 5 trips back and forth from my house to the stop sign before I actually get out of town because I kept forgetting. Oh, I forgot that. Oh, I forgot that. I don't have that brain fog anymore. I don't need lists. I don't have that kind of an issue anymore. So brain fog is gone. And so those are all things that we can get rid of, given proper nutrition, given proper food order, given a little bit of help. And that's kind of one of the things we're going to talk about. So, John, of any of these, I don't know if you've had any of these, if you can see them. Any of these that you can see that you're recognizing yourself?
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Pre-diabetic. Maybe fatty liver. I'm not quite sure how to tell if you have it. Heart disease, high blood pressure, neuropathy, like you said, and obesity, like you said with swallowing a Volkswagen Bug. So, damn. My hair.
There you go. How about skin tags, craving sweets, salt?
Skin tags, I just started like about a year ago, like right around my neck.
Yeah.
What were the other ones you said?
How about hair loss?
Yeah, I noticed on our trip I was looking at the camera, which was behind me, and I'm like, well, I guess I lost some hair up on top. It was I could see my scalp more than I was used to.
Sure.
So
how about fatigue? How about brain fog? Blurry vision.
Oh yeah, brain fog. Yeah, I can't tell you. Like once I like if I was going to go see my mom, I've got something to show her. And then, so I would go out and I get to the car and I'm like, I'd forget the key fob to start the car. And so I'd have to come back in and get the key fob and go back out. I mean, it was just like one trip I had like to the garage and back and, oh crap, I forgot this. And yeah, I can't tell you how many times the last 2 years, like, and just recently it had started like the occurrence of it probably about the same time I started getting skin tags.
Yep.
Awesome.
And now, how is it? What have you noticed that now that you've started the protocol? What little changes have you
seen? My knees don't hurt when I stand up. They used to hurt, but they don't anymore. My mom and a high school friend that calls and checks up about once every 2 weeks or so noticed the change in my mood, a little bit more positive and focused and joyful and happy. Let me see. Neuropathy. So my feet are not numb anymore. They started going numb like maybe 2 years ago. Not really numb, but they just felt different. Like if you touch it, it doesn't really feel numb, but it just didn't feel like it should. And so that's gone. I've got more energy. Walking is more easier and a little bit more. What I want to say, with more effort, instead of like kind of waddling. Sure. I don't know if I really waddled, but it's just like, I'm walking quicker with more sure steps, and I'm like, oh, this is good. So yeah, a bunch of positive things. So
sure.
And
when your knees hurt and your feet hurt, you didn't want to get up and exercise or walk around at all, did you?
Nope.
And when you don't get up and move at all, then we add more issues to the issues, right? So it's great to be able to get up and go. and to have choices and not be restricted because of an ache, a pain, a glitch. And then our attitude says, okay, well, don't go, don't do this, and all of that, right? So yeah, this is wonderful. I'm so excited that those things are working better and better for them.
Yeah, and you know what else? Like even just today, like I was laying down and I'm like, I think I lost some inches. Before I started this, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that. But I think I lost some inches, and so I'm gonna check later. It just feels like I'm like firmer, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, perfect. You're slowly starting to melt. It takes a while. I mean, some people it takes a while because it took a while to get to where we are, and it's going to take a while to get kind of going, and then you start looking at like Frost. I mean, was down 100 pounds. Now he's up to only down 90 because he put on 10 pounds of muscle. Things like that. And I suffered from sarcopenia. I was down to 143 pounds, which is just bad. But when I first started losing weight because of I was so dense with blood sugar, I was kind of excited. I'm like, hey, I'm not doing anything, and I'm losing weight. Well, I lost 50 pounds, and then I lost more. And like, no, I got to stop this. Stop. And I stopped at 143, and I've been to come back to 152, but I'm growing back with lean muscle mass. And so it's all because of the food and how we eat and what we do. So one of the things I always talk about a lot is our history of food, because two different food lifetimes. And so we're not going to go into a lot of that tonight. We're going to talk just a couple more things about our protocol, because we want people to understand that we are facing a modern food environment where the next thing that happens is this: pharmaceuticals. They are the next thing in the wind. And this is really, I think, one of my favorite slides, because this is where I like to explain to people fiber was been removed from our food. Feeder cattle are fed better than you feed your children. Feeder cattle are fed better than you feed yourself. And the reason I say this, with all due respect, is cattle are always getting fiber. Fiber is the first critical element that they get in their diet. Okay. How is fiber planned in your world? Is it the first thing on your mind when you're building a lunch, a dinner, or is that, well, I guess we'll have some? All right. Feeder cattle are planned one with fiber. The next thing why I say that feeder cattle are just as good as you is corn. Corn. They get corn. Now they get steamed corn flakes. Steamed corn flakes. Can you see much difference between steamed corn flakes and the corn flakes you get? Not a whole lot, is there? It's the same ingredient until you get over here where they're frosted cornflakes. Yay. So at least these guys aren't getting fed sugar. Okay. And then this is my favorite little popcorn trough. I just looks like a trough. What's the difference between these guys and these guys? Oh, these guys are getting fiber. And so the whole thing is it's just a story. Our modern food environment is real. And we need to change our modern food environment, because this is what's going on. You have choices, guys. You have choices. But look at this. What's on sale here? What's on sale? Eggo waffles. What fiber is in there? None. That's all carb. And syrup, which is what? High fructose corn syrup. And then let's go over and look at what else can we get there. Well, gosh, there's cookies and chips and cake. Look at the ingredients on this little bag here sometime if you want to freak out. Now, if you get a chance, sometime turn to the label and look at on this particular brand. Now they have blue bags and red bags, but look at the ingredients in the back of that and come back and tell me that it's what it is. Okay. So in the modern food environment, this is what we have. We have highly processed foods, ultra processed foods, bioengineered food. And that's why we have Mr. Belly so big. That's why we get like that. We play diet whack-a-mole. There's not hardly a planned idea that I had not experienced. The best plan I was ever on prior to getting on this protocol was such that I was weighing my food by the gram. I was on the metric scale, and I don't like the metric scale. Anyway, it's another story. But if I would go to a party, if I'd go to an event, I'm walking with my own little food containers and little food containers. I'm not a pygmy. I'm not a little child. But I had my food all measured out, so this is what I could have. Meanwhile, I'm watching everybody else having what? Barbecue. I got my little. Why did I even come other than to socialize? And it was to socialize, but we socialize around food. And we want to be able to eat food, don't we? Why do we want to restrict ourselves? And we don't. Not on this protocol. So why do you always lose? Why have you always lost when you start looking to diet or try a plan or whatever? Basically, hungry always wins. Hungry always wins. You cannot exercise bad choices. Cliff Note version, you cannot exercise bad choices, and hungry always wins. And the more you deny you're going to not do something, the more you're going to do it. And when you do it, all hell breaks loose because it's a binge. I'm not going to eat any of these, whatever these are. And the first time you have one little bitty nibble, just a nibble, the whole bag is going to be gone. Exactly. The whole bag's going to be gone, and you're thinking about the second bag. Oh, darn, I don't have another. I don't know if the store's still open. I wonder if I can get, yeah. So all or nothing, doing it on your own, thinking short term, not even thinking about stress and sleep. As quick as you start denying yourself, you are setting yourself up to fail. Because you know why I know that? Because people have always failed. I failed every time. But why am I where I'm at now and why we're talking about what we do is because it's easy. It is the easiest thing in the world. It's simple and it's sustainable. You're going to drink anyway, right? So if you could drink a couple teas a day and a fiber, could you do that? Yeah. Most anybody could do that. Can you count to 1, 2, 3? Yeah, it works. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. People that work with us on our team that we're rocket scientists, literally rocket scientists.
Since I started this, I think I've only had like 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah, and it was one at the Waffle House.
I didn't have coffee at the Waffle House.
I didn't think you did either.
I had the orange juice. No, I'm kidding.
You had the orange juice. Yes, that's so much better, John.
Yep.
So, guys, one of the things we're going to talk about real quick, we're going to talk about a protocol, and I'm going to give this free advice, you guys. The free advice, if you want to do something right away that can make a difference, it's to F off. And that is to fast, know the order of food, fiber, fat, and protein. F off. And when you sleep, you're fasting. So don't tell me you can't fast because you ain't eating when you're sleeping. So you can fast. You do that naturally. But what we do is we encourage people to fast a little longer in the morning. Fast a little bit longer in the morning. And in place of that bagel or toast or cereal or breakfast skillet or whatever, drink a tea that helps you feel full, keeps you calm, and helps delay when you break your fast. So when you break your fast, it's deliberate, not just because, well, I got up and I'm supposed to break my fast. Who said? Kellogg's? That's where the advert came from, guys. When I was a kid, nobody got up first thing in the morning to have a bowl of cornflakes and a glass of orange juice and a banana. We didn't know. When I was a kid, breakfast was ham and eggs and hash browns and real meat and real food, not a bowl of this and things to spike our insulin. We had whole milk, not orange juice. If we had orange juice, guess what? It was home squeezed. There was fiber in that. There's fiber in that. You don't have fiber in the juice that you drink. It's called juice, which is sugar water. If you were a diabetic and you had a hypo issue, what do they feed diabetics? Juice. What does juice do? Spikes the insulin, spikes the sugar. Why would you do that? And if you do that, think about this, guys. Think about this. We just saw a sign for schools starting in August. I can't believe school's starting already. But anyway, think about this. Kids that go to school lunch, breakfast, they get a what? A bowl of fupa lattes, right? They get some jam with some bread, and they get an orange juice. What is that doing to their gut biome? What is that doing to their blood glucose? What is it doing to the insulin? It's putting it up here. And then if it goes there, what does it have to do? Crash. And when it crashes, it goes lower than when you started. And when it goes like this, now all of a sudden the kid is what? Lazy, ADD, can't learn. Man, you just fed it to him and you caused him to crash. John, question, thought.
So what should they eat instead of like the first meal of the day, since it might be lunch? Then they should have like something with like protein and fat and no carbs, right?
You're first coming off of a fast, you're going to look to have some fiber and fats and proteins, just like the order of food. But what do most people have? Carbs. 70% or so, over 50. Let's go to 70. Actually, 70 or 80. But let's just fairly say at least 50% of the American diet is carbohydrates. And it's really 70, 80%. Well, and they eat that on the front side. I mean, story. If you go to a drive-through, even if a breakfast, you go through a drive-through, what do you order? A muffin, a bagel, a couple donuts, even a breakfast sandwich. Let's say you have a breakfast sandwich. Well, let's see. There's at least 2 muffins or bagels or muffins, bagels, sandwich bread. That's on the outside, and then inside there's maybe some cheese. Maybe it's cheese, maybe it's not. But then you have some kind of breakfast meat. Maybe it's a fried chicken breast. Maybe it has some super special sauce. And what's in that super special sauce? High fructose syrup and that kind of stuff. And maybe an egg. Good. Eggs are good. We'll take eggs, right? So even there, every bite from the bottom and the top is what? Carbs. So they're going in first. And then in between, there's an egg and a piece of meat, maybe, right? If you're having a breakfast sandwich. So you're loading up carbs first. Every bite, the first thing that's going in is carbs. What breaks down fastest? Carbs. What is the insulin going to react to? The glucose and the carbs. So yes, going more to protein and fiber first, Yes, much better, much better. And if it's going to even be a lunch, well, then if we're like when I come off a 72-hour fast, a 2 or 3 day, I come off a 3 day fast. I'm looking to come off gently. I'm not going to go get an ice cream bar. You're going to come off, and you're going to have like some bone broth. You're something like that. Some nice thing that's gentle on your biome, because you just got done. If you go a 72-hour fast, you have totally adjusted your biome. You've started creating stem cells as well. And I know one of the things, John, that you noticed, that you told me, is that being on the protocol, your gut works better. Your GI GI works much better, right? And so that's just another thing. So when we have our first meal, we're going to have some fiber. We're going to focus on having some fiber. Because why? Because fiber's been removed from our diet. Fiber's been removed from our diet. And so that's why we purposely put fiber. And our fiber is a blend. It's medical fiber, soluble and insoluble. It's patented. Nobody else can make it. Nobody else can create this. It's ours. And it's been studied extensively in laboratory and clinical research studies. And we'll talk about those in a minute. And then we'll have another tea. So we are able to burn more fat in a day because we're not eating 5-6 times a day or more. Think about that. You need to let your body actually do its job. You need to let insulin do its job. Have a break. Have a break. For goodness gracious, let it have a chance. So when we talk about our protocol, science-wise, guys, our protocol, we call nutraceuticals, is in the physician's desk reference, now known as a prescriber's digital reference, but it's for every medication's published. And so the Cleveland Clinic did a study on our fiber, they said on our one product, which has 4 patents on it, that such a product taken regularly could reduce cardiovascular risk. Now, what's the number one cause of death in America? Cardiovascular. Cardiovascular is the number one cause of death in America and actually the world. So such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. That sounds great. Who doesn't want you to know this? And why? Exactly. That's why, and this study and this research is part of why we are in the PDR. We have 18 products in the PDR. And I always dare people, double dog dare people, to go look at their prescriptions that they're taking. Look up what you're taking. And John, you've got a medicine chest full of stuff. If you go in and start looking up the PDR references, you'll find a box warning on a majority of those things. If you haven't done it, do it. Let me know and smile. Because what it'll see is that you'll see, well, a lot of them have a box warning. And I call it the black box warning because literally those medications could put you in the black box. Literally. Okay. And guys, how do I know that people are so propagandized and brainwashed to this stuff? There's an ad running now on TV, and I've heard it like twice, and I don't watch hardly any TV, but I've caught this ad twice for psoriasis. I didn't know psoriasis was such a big thing, but I want to let you guys know psoriasis, the root cause of psoriasis and other skin diseases like that, insulin resistance. Okay. But they now have this pill, and it can cause it can cause some really bad conditions around your sphincter and your anus. And they tell you that. They tell you that in the ad. And yet they go, ask your doctor if it's right for you. Ask your doctor if it's right for you. Ask your doctor. Guess what? You ask your doctor if it's right for you. You go, well, it might be. So let's take it. Let's go see. Did he look it up in the book? No. He's got 7 minutes to see you and prescribe. That's what he's allowed. Because this is our healthcare system is broke because it's a reimbursement system. It's not a healthcare system. It's a reimbursement system. And they're only allowed to spend so much time with you. And in that time, they have to either continue a script or add a script. Some kind of profit center. That's the reality of it. So remember I talked about those Eggo waffles in that ad? Look right there, Eggos. So they gave people that exact diet, and on our protocol, it will lower the blood glucose response by 43%. 43%. Metformin on a good day does 30. On a good day. Again, using a nutraceutical. GLP-1s, now your body naturally produces GLP-1s. Okay, it naturally does it. Well, all those shots that people are taking, originally those were to control or try to treat type 2 diabetes. That was the original intent. Okay? That's really kind of what they're approved for. And they don't reverse it. They just kind of mask the symptoms. But they found if they up the dose, people could lose weight. This protocol raises GLP-1 by 60% naturally without any of the side effects. If you are on any of those shots or thinking about taking one of those shots, go back to where I talked about the PDR and look them up. Look them up and let's have a conversation. Because this will do it, 60% does it better than those agonists will. And by the way, this is food. These are food products. Any medication you're on, those pills, those shots, they're all petroleum-based. Think about that for a second. How many pills do you take in a day? So this is why the order of food is so important. See this spike? This is what we don't do. We try to let those know. We want what? We're going to fast. We're fasting. We start to eat. We have fiber. Yeah, look how that nice and slow curve steads out over 6 hours. Look at this. This is our fats and our fibers. Look at this. We're going along. We have a little bit of spike, but look, it takes all to 6 hours. Look what happens with carbs. I don't even list carbs, but look at this. It spikes it, and then it crashes in a very short period of time in this 2-hour window. And generally what happens at about this time is you start what? I need to eat again or I'm going to die. So you eat something again and go right back up. And you what? Crash again. Now we're 4 hours into the day. If you had an 8 o'clock bagel, now you're at your 10 o'clock time for your French fries and your chips and your rice bowl and whatever else to get you up to the 2 o'clock crash, to get you up to the 4 o'clock crash. You eat dinner, and now you have another crash before you go to bed. So you need something that's just before you go to bed. I'll just have a little snack. You never gave your body a chance to rest in the old plan. That's why our program works so well. So there's 5 patents, clinical studies, guaranteed. This is really why the program works. But the real story on this is this. And we're going to quit in about a minute here or two. The real story is right here. The real story is that we're able to get to where we can get rid of some of this stuff. We're really to where we can get right over here and we have success after success after success after success, 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 success. Our protocol works. Time after 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 time. The protocol works. It works. Totally works. So, at the end of the story, at the end of the day, guys, what we want you to do is we want you to be healthy. John wants you to be healthy. If you know John, reach out to him. He's got a link, and he can help get you on this protocol that works. And he's enjoying the benefits. He's beginning to join more and more. He's seeing it every day. John is learning the topic and the subject matter, doing great on
Hearing it.
and hearing it and seeing it, we learn. And so the protocol really is really simple. When you're not eating, you're drinking sipping a tea. When you're not eating, you're sipping a tea. And before you have your meal, you have the fiber. Simple as can be. When you're not eating, you're sipping a tea. And when you're getting ready to have a meal. Now, if you have two, you can drink two fibers, one before every meal. You can do that. Absolutely. You can just order more. It works and it helps. I do. For almost every meal, I'm doing that. So the protocol works. And the reason it works, guys, is because it's natural, it's effective, it takes care of the root cause, it supports real change without having to count calories, count carbohydrates, eat this way, eat that way. How hard is it to sip 2 teas and take your fiber with your meal? And how hard is that? It's not. It's a nice help. It's just an easy way to make our lifestyle changes easier. So, John, I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for being here. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
And you have a great night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being on. Thank you for coming in. And if you have any questions, reach out to John or reach out to me. We're happy to get your link or answer questions that you may have about the success of the program that works for us and literally 100,000 other people.
And they taste good.
And they do. They really do.
I gave the tea to my friend's dad. I had him sample it, and he's like, "Wow, it's kind of sweet." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just there's no sugar, nothing. It's just what it is."
Yep, kind of like an Arnold Palmer.
Yep, whatever that is.
Okay, it's a tea.
All right.
It's a drink tea. All right, John. I'll see you in the morning.
Right. Thanks, George. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye now.